911, what's your emergency?
Help! I'm in a financial situation.
Don't worry, EMS is on their way. They have a band-aid for all your financial needs.
So I've been active duty military, Army, go Army, GUA, or if you cab, IEA, for 21 years now. So I'm a military soldier straight out of high school. 18 years in military, or 17 years, and I was living paycheck to paycheck. I would get from rank to rank. You have to, here's the key word, attempt to make a profit.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Real Talk with EMS. So before we get started, I want you to like, subscribe, ding that little bell, and comment below. We want to hear your comments, okay? So without further ado, I am Ebony.
Hello, everybody. I am Marcella.
Hello, beautiful people. I am Sonia. Listen, y'all, I am so stoked about tonight's podcast. We have a phenomenal gentleman, which I know that all of you will be blessed. So I'm not going to take much longer. Without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Jason Thomas. Come on in.
Woo, Jason.
Jason.
Yes.
Hey, Mr. Thomas. Woo! Hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing better than amazing. It's another beautiful day, another great day.
Praise God, praise God. Well, welcome. Welcome to Real Talk with EMS. So listen, I got some questions for you tonight. I want everybody to just relax, take a seat, get a little drink, whatever you want to do, because we got a fun-filled podcast for you on tonight. So let's just get started. So where are you from, Mr. Jason Thomas?
So I like to tell people I'm from the best state in the world, and that's Texas. Actually born in Dallas, raised in Houston.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, Texas is great. I live in El Paso. Eb,
We're not gonna hold it against you. Hey, well, I do love my Texas. I know you're not a native Texan, but you have adopted Texas.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what's your occupation?
So I've been active duty military, Army, go Army, GUA, or if you cab, IEA, for 21 years now. So I'm a military soldier straight out of high school. Yeah.
That is awesome. Okay, well, thank you for your service. So why did you join the military?
Hey, that's a funny story, lady. So Sonia, don't hold this against me. So I had no aspirations of joining the military while I was in high school. I was a band geek, played saxophone, played basketball, did track. I wasn't an expert in any of those, but I did have some good grades in those classes. So I expected to go to college, do the drum major type thing. But there was just one recruiter, and so you gotta remind me. But she kept coming to the school, getting us out of class. My boys actually introduced us, but getting us out of class and taking us to Fort Hood back then to see the basketball game. And I'm like, and for me, she kept feeding us chicken and taking us to the Army birthdays. So I was like, you know what? I like this. And so I jumped the gun and signed the delayed entry program, Marcella, and that's where you sign up for the Army before you even get out of school. And so I did that, and yeah, I couldn't get out of the contract because they said the only way you can get out of the delayed entry program is if you get a full ride scholarship. So the coach that I was talking to, Christian school, he said, "Hey, you good, but you ain't that good. I can't boost it. I can't boost it. So here I am."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why I joined the military. It was just something. I didn't have nothing I was running away from. I didn't have a situation that I needed to change. I didn't know that my dad actually served until I was getting ready to serve. So, and I didn't know how many other family members that I had that actually served too. They didn't talk about it. So it wasn't like a family thing. It was just, hey, I'm gonna do something and I'm gonna ride it out.
Wow, awesome, awesome. So you spent over 20 years in the military. What has kept you in the military?
You know, what's kept me in the military is just, I would say, I would say I'm just having fun. You know what I'm saying?
Not
A lot of people that I talk to, they're not having fun. They don't like the job, the occupation, and usually they doing it, just to get the retirement check or the pension and whatnot. I'm having a good time. There's not a day that don't go by where I don't, create something fun or just have a nice day. Even when times get rough or times get hard. I love seeing people. I love meeting people, and so the Army is a great spot to really just meet a lot of different people over the years and connect with them. So, it ain't the occupation. I'm gonna tell you that because my MOS is fixing radio electronics equipment, and the people that I'm around in my MOS, they like to build computers from scratch. They like to
Oh,
play
wow.
World of Warcrafts. That ain't me. So you start geeking out. I'll be like, okay, that's fun. Can we talk finance?
That's what I
right.
like.
That's where I'm at. I don't really deal with the electronics like that. It's an occupation. And now I'm able to teach more people that go after what you're passionate for and make it a job, make that job into a hobby or a lifestyle versus just doing something for the paycheck. So
Awesome.
You briefly mentioned about finances, and I don't know if you're like us, we were never taught anything about finances, right? So tell us, were you taught even like a little about finances, or did you just come into it as you grown and, gotten a little wisdom behind you?
So no, nobody told me about finances. Growing up, my mom actually used to work at Texaco. I don't know if you ladies are old enough to even know about Texaco. Y'all
Wow.
look kind of young.
Yeah, right.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
But my mom used to work at Texaco, and life was great. We was going on trips and things like that. And then Texaco downsized, she got laid off. So that was our first lesson about money. And it was really more so like a job will use you until they're ready to get rid of you. But I never got to talk about finances. I would see her writing a checkbook and write checks out. Yes, people, if you're younger than I am, you probably don't know what that is. It's a little sheet of paper to where it tells you. But anyways, it was 18 years in military or 17 years, and I was living paycheck to paycheck. I would get from rank to rank, sergeant to staff sergeant to sergeant first class. I'm like, we're making more money. Yeah, I got, a couple kids, but why are we still living paycheck to paycheck? Like, what changed? The living requirements didn't change. And so I couldn't understand it. And it was one day where a scripture stood out to me, and a person introduced me to some wealth strategies. And I was like, okay, that's it. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children. You got 6 kids living paycheck to paycheck. How are you gonna do that? And oh, by the way, here's where you're losing money. And it was at that point to my whole life changed. I also was pursuing a degree in psychology as far as IO psychology. And at that time, I had all the credits, but they told me because I got a C in one class that I have to do the class over, and then the school shut down. So then I
Wow.
lost faith in the school system. I was like, you know what? I spent all these years and all this money to do college like everybody tells you to do. It didn't bring me more money. It spent more money, and it took away all of my time, as
Mhm.
an NCO in the United States Army, trying to do school and life. I was waking up late at night just to do papers. And so when this strategy started coming to me and that scripture came to me, that's when everything changed and I started learning more. And as I learned more, I did more. And the connections and networks started growing more on the side of finances. And so that's my passion now, because everybody deals with finances, whether you broke or not, you dealing with it some way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wow, that's powerful. And you mentioned being in the military 17, 18 years and you still living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, that's rough.
Eye opener. Like that's a clue for somebody, right? Like, you've given your time, you've given all of your attention, like everything, you poured into this one job. and you still living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
Right.
That's crazy.
It is.
I
It is.
definitely
It's reality.
can relate on that. Especially doing school. My whole life was school, still paycheck to paycheck, officer in the military.
It
Rough.
breaks my heart to know.
real.
Man, listen, that's a whole nother show right there.
Right.
It is. 'Cause I
That's
can
a,
elaborate on
that's a
that.
part two.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta do that. We gotta do that because I can definitely talk about that.
Goodness. So, Jay, what is the biggest lesson you have learned about stewardship and money? I know that you briefly mentioned that, a few minutes ago. So, can you elaborate on that for us?
In a nutshell, your job would never pay you enough for you to be the neighbor of your CEO. In the military, they'll never teach you enough to where you can be an entrepreneur.
Recap.
So let me say it like this: your employer would never pay you enough to be their neighbor, and the Army would never teach you enough to become an entrepreneur. It's networks and people that you gotta connect with that do that. And one of the biggest things that ACS, AER, all them three-letter name people in the military that they tell you to get your financial advice from. One of the things that they never tell soldiers, airmen, Marines, whatever branch, or even civilians, is that having a home-based business can literally change your economic glide path. And a lot of people don't understand that because they think having a home-based business is a lot more work. It may be a little bit more work, but it can change your financial trajectory just by you doing the same stuff you're already doing and adding in a business. And there's three things to elaborate on what that means. There's three things that the IRS says you have to have or do in order to be and conclude or considered a home-based business. One, you got to have a product. You got to have a product or service. You can't just be saying I got a home-based business and it's living in your mind. Two, you got to work your business consistently, at least 3 to 5 hours per week. Most people watch 3 to 5 hours of television a day.
Absolutely. Yes.
So it's like,
Okay.
oh, that's too much. What you mean? You just watched the whole binge season of that X, Y, and Z. And then, right? And then the last thing is you have to, here's the key word, attempt to make a profit. So, that's a lot of things that military personnel can do, whether you're a spouse or whether you active duty. Like a lot of people do hair. Did any of y'all do hair or nails or massage therapy or anything like that while y'all were growing up? Think about that. Did you cook for somebody? Those are all types of small, minor home-based businesses that people can capitalize on. I know so many people that do hair. I know so many people that do stuff on the side, but they never realize that you have a home-based business that you can be using to get huge tax deductions, huge incentives back, change your everyday lifestyle into a tax deduction. Look, y'all, let me break it down.
Come on.
Preach.
I spent over so my business is sharing people with finances, right? Different services that are provided. And anytime I'm talking to somebody about finances, I can literally say that that's a legitimate attempt to make a profit. And so with that, the IRS says I can deduct my meals if I'm having a meal with somebody. The mileage that I took to go back and forth. If I'm doing a Zoom, the internet expenses, the square footage that I'm using right here. And look, y'all, I spent over $6,000 to $7,000 in just meals that I got back in my pocket as a tax deduction. I've had over $10,000. I drive an old school or a 2002 Escalade truck. It takes a lot to keep that bad boy going because it's so old, right?
Mhm.
Every dime that I put into that truck to keep it going, I got tax back. I got tax deductions from it. That means I got money back. So just if you have a car, if you have a home, what would your life be like if you was getting money back on top of the money that you earned doing the business? And so that's what most wealthy people do. They turn their house into a business, they turn their home into a business, and they're able to write off the water, the food, all that stuff legitimately, not just fake, for real, for real.
So I want to ask Jason, you said if you have a home, what about if you don't own your home? What if you renting? Can you still
Yeah,
have a home
it's
based
still
business?
a place where you sleep, you know, it ain't the street and you can claim the address. So any place where there's a roof over your head and it has an address, that's your place of business. That's just, you know, so yeah, you know, if you're renting, you just don't get different, you don't get other incentives than if you bought. And that's the difference, man. There's over 475 different tax laws. So we can sit here for hours and go through them, but just know, you know, there's people out there and there's services out there that do it for you. And I will pay top dollar to get somebody to save me the money or savings and get that money back in my pocket. I know some people real quickly that have owed the IRS over $100,000, but when they get with these type of professionals, you know, they only owe like 20. That's $80,000. How
Wow.
much would you pay to only have to pay 20,000 versus 100? And then there's other people like myself that owe the IRS nothing and get huge refunds because of the deductions I'm taking that I spend every single day. And last, military can double dip by doing that. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
The TDY, hey, I've been double dipping and I done grown in some areas, both down here and in my pocket because of
I
Wow.
wanted to go back to what you were saying that some people think that having a home-based business is extra work. But to me, if you're doing extra work for yourself rather than doing extra work for somebody else, to me, that's just a no-brainer. Why work harder for yourself, not for someone else, you know? Crazy.
yeah, you're
They,
absolutely right. 2 and 3
they said
jobs
I
don't
like
get you there.
You said 3 to 5 hours per week. I mean, that's and you're making money off of that, 3 to 5 hours a week. Do you know how much more time that 3 to 5 hours per week versus 40 hours per week gives you to spend with your family, all your
Yeah.
loved ones? I
Yep.
mean, that's like time, freedom, flexibility, and
Right.
that says a mouthful right there. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it surely would alleviate some stress, of getting up every day, like stress on your vehicle, stress on you. I don't know about y'all, but I know when I used to go to work, those roads and that traffic, having to leave your house almost 2 hours earlier so you could get to work on time. Ooh, that traffic up north is no joke.
Right.
Yeah. So when you have that freedom, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
absolutely.
talked about that. That's huge. That's
Yeah.
huge because the boss ain't paying you your commute time. But think
Not at
about
all.
it. You
Or
get
giving
ready
you
for
gas
work.
money.
Hey, you're right. But you don't get ready for work on that Monday morning. You get ready for work on Sunday night. Think
Mm-hmm.
about
Right.
it. If you taking lunch, you preparing a lunch. If you iron clothes like I do, some of y'all ladies, y'all got that dryer wardrobe. You throw it in the dryer and you walk out, you shake it, and
Yep.
boom. That way you can spend more time on the hair and makeup if you wear it. But think about that. Think how many hours go into getting prepped to go to work.
Right.
And then you're in the road, and then you got the traffic, and then you may need lunch. If you don't bring your lunch, you got traffic getting the lunch. So you doing something, you buying the lunch at the office, and then you got to
Mm-hmm.
get home. So that's a commute home. And then you got to decompress, but you're not getting paid all of that in those hours of that time. So think about this. If you can be making money while you sleep or have a business that's working for you or people working in your own business like you're working on that job, think how much more money you can make without all the stress, without all the time being eaten up. And so that's a huge advantage of having a home-based business, because it goes where you go. If you're in the military, you don't have to worry about different licenses. Depending on what kind of business you have, you don't have to worry about different licensing and having to change states and pay those fees and whatnot. But it goes with you wherever you go, and you can benefit from it even in South Korea.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And for those that are watching, what Jay is talking about, it can, whether you are a soldier member or a civilian, it doesn't matter. We all can benefit from having a home-based business. So I just want people to really understand that, I know that you spoke about AER, and most people don't know those acronyms if you're not military, right? So can you just elaborate on that and how soldier members can, I know that you previously spoke about how soldiers can benefit from having a home-based business, but how does the information differ from what the military provides?
Yeah, that's too easy. And I'm not like a military guru on the different services, but I do know what we're briefed and what we provide as leaders to our soldiers. And I've also participated and went to several of the briefings. So from that information, AER is a type of program that it's basically funded by the soldier service members to build up funds. It's done through donations. And anytime a soldier needs like a loan without interest, they have that ability to access it. ACS is Army Community Service, where it's a service designed to give you financial support and training. So they mainly talk about budgeting, but how many people know, budgeting won't equal wealth? And budgeting, it just shows you where you've been putting your money. It doesn't show you where to put your money. You're just tallying up dollars with where it's been going, so you have a better understanding. So those are basic steps to getting to understand your finances. But just like school, there's levels to financial literacy. And after you understand, those basic ones, now let's talk about growth. Let's talk about, getting to where the money really is that you're losing and the money that you really want. And so that's the difference. The biggest one is the W-4 form, the W-4 adjustment. Like, bruh, you telling me I'm paying all this money out in taxes, and this is where I'm losing money to begin with every single month. Like, hey, look at your check, look at your gross and your net. If it don't look the same, it's because them taxes in the middle, Uncle Sam, federal, FICA, state, if you have it. I'm from Texas, so I ain't paying no state, you know what I mean? And for quick plug, if you're in the military, you definitely need to find you a state that don't pay taxes so you can benefit by getting all your money back, at least from the taxes side. Come on, people, it's 2024 and you still got the highest paying tax state as your home of record, but you done been to 5 duty stations. Let's fix that. Ladies and gentlemen, civilians, if you don't know, military move from place to place every 2 to 3 years, and they can claim any place as a home of record so that taxes don't always have to come out from that particular state that they joined the Army for. That's that. So the thing about it is that the Form W-4, it has instructions on the back of it. And most people in the military, and even the civilian sector, if you've been there for 20 years or whatever, you filled it out when you first got started, but you probably never looked at this form your entire military career or your entire time while you was with that job. And your lifestyle has changed. Either you've gotten raises, you got kids, you got divorced, you got married. And so all of that affects how much taxes should be taken out. And the IRS even says that you should do a paycheck checkup every year. They're talking about your Form W-4. Most HRs don't even know what it is or what to do with it because we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. So if they're not talking about it in the civilian sector, you think we talk about it in the military? No. Absolutely not. And this is something that the ACS don't do. This is something the military services don't do. This is something that Chief T do, but I just need more people to listen. And it's not me, it's the IRS that's giving you this information. The IRS is not this big bad guy that's trying to take all your money. No, they clearly say there's over 80% of Americans who are paying $2,000 a year too much. And that's the tax refund that you're getting every year. Mm-hmm. But I understand most people, Sonia, they use it as a forced savings habit. They don't realize that they can take that money up front, invest it in 5% or 8% into a mutual fund and grow their money more by the time at the end of the year and still have the same amount, if not more, during tax season. So the wealthy people understand this. They understand pay little to no taxes all throughout the year and allow their expenses, their deductions, to pay whatever tax bill is remaining, by quarters and whatnot. So they're not overpaying the government, I'll tell you that much. And that's the biggest thing, the W-4 adjustment, and then what to do with the money. Yeah, we had the TSP and we had the different versions, the Roth, but you can't touch that money. So the question is, hey, Garrison, hey, military, is there something else out there that I can grow my money the same way? Do you not have another program that I can grow my money the same way, but still have access to it to where I can use it instead of having to use an AER loan? Yeah, AER loan is great, or any other type of service is great, but what if I can become a better steward of my own money with the resources rather than relying on the resources that you provided? It's kind of like a welfare mentality for the military.
Yeah.
Why we want to keep people on welfare in the military? Why not just boost them up where they have the literacy and the education to take care of themselves? So then the money that we're generating actually can be used for the people that really need it because they don't have the education. I'm just saying.
No.
That sounded really,
that.
really
Right. Yes.
good.
Wealth of
Well
knowledge.
spoken.
With everything that has been said tonight, what would you leave us? What is some things, or maybe one thing that you would leave the audience with to make their minds, think outside the box? Whatever, what would you leave us with?
So just like I've been saying from the beginning, there's so many people in the world. You can't do it alone. You were never designed to do life alone, whether it be relationships, spousal or whatever. But when you're talking about finances, particularly, because that's the area I love, you can't do this by yourself. There's people that are doing better than you that can help you, and they can help you get there faster. Whether you're in the military or you're in the civilian sector, get you some mentors that's going to pour into you some good advice, and they have no way of benefiting from your success. You're a good mentee. They want to mentor you, and they want to show you how to get to the bag, as the young people say, so that you can do better for your family than your past generation did for you. And so whatever that looks like, whether that be starting a home-based business, whether that be investing, if you're not investing, you're not on the path of wealth. Wealth can look different for so many people. So whatever wealth is for you, find some mentors so that they can pour into you so you can get there faster, and so that you can actually keep the money and the wealth and the assets that you gained. So I would say that. And if anybody want to link up with me, I'll be a great mentor and we can have fun together.
Absolutely.
Plug in there. Listen, it's been great tonight. Oh my goodness, you are truly a wealth of knowledge, and I can tell that you are so genuine, you're so transparent, and you love helping people, and that's what it's all about. It just spills over from you. So I just want to personally thank you for coming on tonight. We absolutely enjoyed this, and we definitely have to do a part 2 so we can elaborate on some things. And I just got 2 words for you before we end. Go Steelers.
Hey, thank y'all for letting me tune in and participate with y'all. Y'all look so great, and thank you for the time. I appreciate it so much.
Thank
Oh,
you.
we appreciate you. Thank you.
And we will see you next Saturday. Just remember, this is Real Talk with EMS. We have a Band-Aid for your financial needs.
Yes.
Yes. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ding, ding,
Absolutely.
ding.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. It's been wonderful.